Hi, how are you? My name is Jesus. I'm Institutional Relations Manager from Be Madrid. Thank you for following us in our social media and thank you for being here. Today, we're going to talk about like how to build your CV or to make it successful. For today, we're going to start making some talks, the one that they're going to help us in our professional life. So for today, I want to introduce Patrice Burns. Patrice Burns, she's right here. Please say hi, Patrice. How are you?
Hi. Hi. Thank you, Jesus. It's great to be here. And hello to everyone.
It's great to have you. Okay, so Patrice is the one that she's going to talk about how to build our CV or how to make it successful. She is the career services coordinator from the Saint Louis University here in Madrid. Her main goal is to help students to prepare their professional careers and using some workshops or like through the internship. So she knows what she's talking about, okay? So what we're going to do today, like we're going to let Patrice explain us a little bit for a couple of minutes. And then when she finish her presentation, she's going to share like a PowerPoint. She's going to, we're going to start some questions and she's going to give us some answers, okay? These questions that we have, like we already asked to some students to give us some questions about like how to make better or improve their CVs. So we're going to make these questions to Patrice, okay? So thank you, Patrice. I'm going to please give us your tips, your best tips about how to build our CV or to make it successful.
Great, thank you. Here we go. I'm going to share my screen here. And thank you for that wonderful introduction. You made me sound very important.
You are.
So here we go. We're going to go over some do's and don'ts today, just the basics. And at the most basic level, you do need to know the purpose of your resume. The purpose of your resume is to get you an interview. So that means on that document, you need to have the correct information to convince the person who's going to read it to call you in for an interview. And throughout this presentation, and as you're making your resume, you need to keep that reader in mind. Sometimes it will be a human, someone from HR, and sometimes it will be a computer scanner. Now, the scanner is going to look for specific words that were listed in the job ad. So oftentimes if you see a position like on InfoJobs or on LinkedIn where hundreds of people are applying, those are going to be read by a scanner. So it's of utmost importance that you have the keywords listed on your resume that were in that job description. Now, when it's a human, I want you to keep in mind that the average person, HR person who looks at a resume spends 6 seconds looking at your resume. So you need to have that information pop out, make it very clear for them to see what they want to see. And keep that in mind. It's what the reader wants. This isn't what's important to me from my life that I put on my resume. It's what's important to that person for this particular job. Everything goes in reverse chronological order. So that means your most recent experience is going to be at the top. And then as it gets older, it'll go down. And same thing with your education, your most recent education at the top, and then your prior, etc. One thing we don't use anymore is an objective statement. So if you have that on there, get rid of it. You may use a summary. A summary is just a section with key important things about you that align with the job. So this is a great area to put those words, those keywords that they're going to be searching for. So if the ad asks for Excel, you can put Excel, macros, and pivot tables, just word for word what they're asking for. And those are just succinct bullet pointed words in your summary. And it depends here, photo. Yes or no, it's fine. In Spain, traditionally, everyone wanted a photo. Now it's fine without. I would say if it makes your CV or your resume look good aesthetically, put it in. A photo at this stage of your life is great. It's only going to help you because you're young. And that's kind of the point of the photo, is to see your age. So the two things. If it looks good on your resume, make sure, please, it's a professional photo like you have on LinkedIn. Here comes a don't. We do not use pronouns on a resume. So we do not say, I organized a database system. We say, organized the database system. Use the active voice with an action verb. Y en español también. I'll talk about that in a minute. Tell us what you did. So if it's a current position, managing all social media accounts, it's in the past, simple past. Managed all social media accounts. I'll see sometimes on Spanish resumes that Spanish students write, they'll put tareas administrativas. Well, I as the reader, that doesn't help me at all. I have no idea what you did. So tell us what you did. Llamé a posibles clientes para concretar visitas comerciales. Wow, that is fantastic. You know, things like that. Put the exact job you did on your resume, because otherwise it's kind of meaningless. And like I said, the resume is to determine if you do not get an interview. So you have to make that clear here. You can't say, oh, I'll explain it in an interview, because that time may never come. Hopefully it will, right? Okay, where you can quantify. So raised over 3,000 euros for charity. And again, quantifying things with numbers, money amounts, is going to make it more real and more concrete for the reader. As I mentioned, incorporate keywords. Also use their language. Use the language of the company, and you can glean that in 30 seconds usually of looking at their website. If you look at the Be Madrid website, you see we use the terms international student, exchange student. Well, great. If you're applying for a job there, use those words on your resume instead of foreign student. Of course, we all understand what foreign student means, but it sounds a little different because we're not used to hearing it. So use the exact words from the company, and you will be a part of them. Do make it one page maximum. Please listen to me on this. No one reads anymore. We all know this, and no one is going to read that second page of your resume. And at the very most, they're going to take a glance at the top of that second page, and that's it. Use only one font. Use the white space. Use white space in separate sections. As I said, it needs to be visually pleasing. So if a person takes a look at it, just needs to look good at first glance. And you're going to use those white space in between sections. At the top, typically, personal information, education, experience, perhaps other skills at the bottom, with the nice space in between, making that clear. As I said, it's just got to be easy for the reader to look at it and see what they need. Another thing, a mistake I typically see is students will put the very first part of their job description, the dates. They'll have the dates and then the job title, etc. If you look at a piece of paper, your eye is going to go down that left column. So the most important thing needs to be there. So if I'm looking to hire someone, I want to know what this candidate can do and has done. So right there is where one should put their job title. This is what I did, the company, city, and dates at the right end, because the dates are really the less significant for me. Do not include references and do not include high school activities. I know you may have done some things that are very, very important to you, but honestly, they're not going to be important to the reader. The person reading it has some clear tasks, responsibilities in mind that they need their worker to do. And that's what they want to see, that you can do it. Make it perfect. If there is one error, chances are pretty good your resume is going to go into the no pile. So do make it perfect. Have someone proof it for you. Have several people proof it for you. Save it with your name before you send it out. If I'm applying to Amazon, I should not save my resume as Amazon resume. I should save it as Patrice Burn's resume. That way, it makes it much easier for the receiver to save it to their computer if he or she chooses to do so. And then also that person is going to start equating this experience with my name. Do follow up with the employer after you've sent it in about a week, and do get ready for an interview. And now is the time to start getting ready for your career. Thank you.
Wow.
Okay, I'll stop sharing.
There were like some really, really nice tips. I already have some good ideas to change mine to make it better. So thank you for all these things. They're really, really new. So thank you for giving such recent information about this. So let's talk about the questions that we have today. So there's the first one. Which items are the most important ones and which are the less important ones in case I need to delete information? As you said, you can only manage one page.
Yes, this definitely is a concern. I would suggest you have one master resume with absolutely everything on it. That is your copy, and you're going to keep that on your computer, and you're never going to send it out. And what you're going to do is pick and choose from that when you apply for a job, and you're going to take out the experience you have, the skills you have that are most pertinent to that particular position.
Okay, great. What do you think about using colors and shapes on your CV? Because I have seen like a lot of things, and some of them they're like funny.
I I personally am super conservative with that. I want to see it in black and white. I want to see no frills, no nothing at all.
Okay.
However, sometimes if you're applying for a job that is for artists, for graphic design, you can
Yes.
have, make it neat, make it graphically beautiful with maybe your picture in a different spot and some, colors. I do not like colors on a resume. Maybe a dark blue still remains professional. But honestly, if you're applying to be an accountant, it better be plain and in black and white.
Okay, okay, I understand. Graphic designer is fine, it's fine for them a little bit. Okay, so if I'm not a really good student, I'm talking about my grades, but I think I have a really good skills. How do I translate my skills and put them on my CV when my grades there are not so good? What do you think?
I have a secret. That is, no one really cares about grades. Very few people in the professional world are even going to ask about your grades. As far as I know, the big consulting firms do, and they're very strict about that. And universities do. And I have never heard of any other industry or organization caring about grades. So that's part
Okay.
of it. And just quickly, I want to say, and maybe you don't have the actual paid work experience in an area, that doesn't matter. If you have done something as a volunteer that holds responsibility, that's what we care about. We want to see that good experience, and we don't care if it was you volunteering at a community organization or you in a top level company. The fact is the work you did and what you were able to manage and do.
Okay, great. That's good to know. Good to know where I need to focus. Okay, so there's another one mentioning or talking about achievements. It's good or it's bad? What do you think? Is not too pretentious or is not too pride to put these achievements?
One thing is, if you have room, sure, if they could be potentially pertinent to the position, maybe you got an outstanding writing award, something like that. Yes, and in the US, we're taught to brag. We are taught from day one to sell ourselves. And I find that people from other cultures are not that comfortable with it. And what I try to tell you is get over it. You just have to brag.
Okay, okay, great. So let's one more question. Talking about like the times that we're living right now, is there a chance that the employers ask about how I invest my time during this lockdown? What should I respond?
That's a fantastic question that I think should and will be incorporated into every interview. I hadn't thought of that until now, but I bet you it will. And of course, what they want to see is self-improvement. So studied French. I have always been interested in cooking, and I really concentrated on cooking and learned new things and tried new recipes. Anything to show that you are improving yourself and just trying to learn.
Okay, that's a really good to know and a really good tip also. Okay, so that was our round of Q&A, questions and answers, and that's it for today. So thank you very much to Patrice. She gave us like a really good tips about how to improve successful CV, and thank you very much for taking your time to help us a little bit.
Thank you all.
Okay, for everybody, thank you for watching us, and we hope that you can follow our social media for new material. So thank you all. Bye-bye. Thank you, Patrice. Bye.
Bye.